Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Shout Tea Tuesdays. How are you doing? I hope that you are having a fabulous Tuesday on this. Well, it's not super hot, but it may be super hot where you are. But this super hot August, because it's Leo season and it's burning like 1,000 degrees, literally almost everywhere. So make sure you stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. Smile, relax, take a breath, and enjoy life the best way that you possibly can. So, I have a wonderful guest, but I do want to say, hopefully, you caught that commercial that just went with the National African American Wellness Agency. They are coming to Norman's, what they call it, Sooner Country or country. I'm about to mess it up. But anyway, they're coming to Norman, Oklahoma on September 13th. And so they're asking for everyone to come out and support. And we'll run that commercial again at the end of the segment. But without further ado, we have something that you need to know. Okay. Remember, the T is to educate anyone. So are you ready? Because I don't know. You may know about this, but you probably don't. So let me introduce our special guest today. We have not one but two. She brought a friend. We welcome friends and hello, Christy, and hello, Amy. How are you guys doing
Hello.
today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Trying to stay cool just a little bit.
Us too. It's hard here in Mississippi.
Yeah. So what part of Mississippi are you guys in?
Central.
Central.
Just south of Jackson.
Okay.
Close close to
Oh,
Jackson.
okay, close to Jackson. I was getting ready to say now where is that close to? You got to give me something else because I'm I'm familiar with certain ones. My husband is from Mississippi, so I learn new towns and new cities all the time when I meet new people. But welcome, welcome. I'm in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. So welcome to Strategy Tuesdays. I hope that you are doing wonderful today. And Christy, thank you for
Yes.
reaching out saying that you want to share your story. We have a lot
Thank
to
you
talk
have for
about. So
having me.
yes, yes. So I'm not for sure. Uh-oh, she went black. I think something happened with
Uh
her.
oh. She may have
She was
lost her
trying to
signal.
she was trying to get the screen just right and then it went black. Okay, she'll chime back on. It's all right. Hey, things happen. The I'm about to say the production team, but the show we're used to having technical problems all the time. So hey, it's part of the TV show. But when she comes back on, we'll continue having that discussion with her and she resume with her discussion. But Amy, you are Christy's sister, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. And so she was mentioning about her son and a syndrome. Now, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. So, can you pronounce it for me?
Barth.
Barth.
Barth. Barth syndrome. Yes.
Okay. Barth syndrome. Okay. So, tell us what is Barth syndrome for people that may have never heard of it?
So it primarily affects the mitochondria, um, which in turn makes all of your muscles weak, which includes your heart, like all of your muscles.
Oh,
It
okay.
also, they have short stature when they're very young. A lot of them have a heart condition that goes along with it. So those are the primary things. Um,
Okay.
I'm sure she mentioned the medication that we've been essentially fighting for. So that it repairs the mitochondria is what this medication does.
Okay. Now, this is your nephew.
Well, we both have a son that has Barth syndrome. So
Oh.
my oldest son is affected and her youngest son is affected.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. I did not know that. Okay. Hey, Christy.
Hey, I'm so sorry. Can you hear
You're
me?
okay. Yes, yes. I know you're having the time of your life with that signal. Like, I just need for you to work for like 45 minutes.
Yes.
Just hold on, please. So your sister was telling me about Barth syndrome and explaining what that is. And she also mentioned that because I was saying your nephew, but she said her son has Barth syndrome as well. So now, which child is the oldest?
Her son.
My
Your
son.
son. Okay.
My son will be 25 next weekend.
Okay. Okay. So 25 next weekend. So Amy, you were the first to experience um or being introduced to Barth syndrome or
So we experienced obviously the symptoms first, but because Jacob didn't have a heart condition, he was kind of a medical mystery for 10 years. And we actually did not get the diagnosis until Christopher was born in heart failure and went to a geneticist. And that,
okay.
you know, opened our eyes to the world of our
Okay.
syndrome.
Now Christopher
So,
is Christy's son. Okay.
yes,
And then your
yes,
son is named
Jacob.
Jacob. Okay. So Jacob had this for 10 years until his cousin was born and then all of a sudden we get a lot more information. Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had been back and forth to the doctors, and we had a lot of small diagnosis. Like we knew that he had had problems with his immune system, and he had febrile seizures, and he always complained that his legs hurt. But a lot of the doctors made me feel like I was crazy or like I had Munchausen syndrome. So when we got the diagnosis, it was almost a double edged sword. Um, on one hand, you know, validation that I wasn't crazy and that these things were happening. But on the other hand, there's no cure. There's no, or there wasn't a treatment. There is a treatment today. It's just not FDA approved.
Okay. And that's something else that you have to kind of wait. You have to kind of wait on.
Yes.
So Christy, so tell me the start of your journey. Your son was born. Oh no, no, come back. Oh Lord. Okay.
I see the box, so I wonder if she's not all the way out.
Right, right. She's not all the way out. Okay. Well, I wanted her to start with the journey because you mentioned that her son was born with did you say heart condition?
He was actually born in heart failure.
Heart failure.
Um, we didn't have a pediatric cardiac unit here in Mississippi at the time. So they took him out of state and they started the process of working him up for a transplant. But after many conversations with many different doctors and lots of prayers, they decided to bring him home. And essentially, his heart function is almost to the normal level today, and that's with his native heart. So he did not have to have
Mm.
a heart transplant, and which is a miracle all in
Yes,
itself.
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So and how old is he now? How
Christopher is he just turned 17 in April.
17. Okay.
Yes,
Whew. Okay. So
it is
it
a
is
lot.
my gosh, it is a lot. And I'm just on the other end just trying to absorb all of this information. I can only imagine how overwhelming it is for both of you as being a mom and trying to figure out what is going on and like you stated there wasn't certain resources in the state or in the city near you and so you're having to travel probably distance to get some help or some kind of second opinion so does the heart failure um contribute to the Barth syndrome or
Yes,
okay.
yes, that's part of the condition. Yes, so all of your muscles are weak. Your heart is a muscle, so a lot of them have dilated, non-compacted, which means that it's not really like a hard muscle. It's like a sponge.
Okay.
Um, so and that's kind of the other catch 22 to Barr syndrome is n- not all of them have the exact same
Mm,
symptoms.
okay.
So some of them have heart failure, but don't necessarily have the immune issues. And then some of the ones that may have the immune issues don't necessarily, they're always at a risk, but don't necessarily have the heart issues. So
Wow.
it makes it even more
Right. It's
confusing.
complicated.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely it's not a condition that you can fit into a box.
Hmm.
There's less than 300 cases that have ever been diagnosed in the whole world, and that's including people that have passed away.
Oh, okay. Okay. So with Christopher having the heart failure at birth, were
Yes.
they able due to that, were they able to quickly diagnose him with Barth?
So due to the heart failure, they sent him to a geneticist, which obviously did the testing. He was 22 months old when that test came back, and when they started explaining to Kristi, what all of the symptoms were, she told the doctor, "You just explained my nephew and also a cousin of mine."
Okay.
So it also answered questions. We have uncles that both died as infants back in the 50s. I believe Kristi probably knows a little bit better if she's back. Um, but back then they didn't know what the cause
But
was for them, their heart issues.
so Christy, after I mean, you're starting to make a pattern of noticing that it's a family, um, I don't want to say genetics, but a family history of people having
It is
similar.
genetic.
It's
Okay,
genetic.
okay.
It is
That's what I was
genetic,
going to
yes.
ask was, is it actually genetic? And is there a genetic testing for this too?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So that is so how does that work with both of your children having barf? Does that mean that if they have children, there's a possibility,
Go ahead, Kristi.
Christy?
She may be having issues again.
Uh,
I hope I don't get cut on.
I know
So horrible.
this is horrible. I
So
feel
it's
like
an
calling Christy
X-linked
on the phone.
disease,
Oh, there
which
she go.
means that
Okay.
it is passed along. So sorry. So it is an X-linked disease. It is passed down from mother to child, which means um. So my sister and I both have children that have it, and our children, if they have children, so if they have a boy, it ends with them. They won't have Barth syndrome. But if they have a girl, then they're 100% a chance going to be a carrier. But it is passed between mother to son typically. So my sister and I have it,
Okay.
and then we have a cousin that has it. Then we have the two uncles that passed away in infancy. And so it we have a clear path that it's affected us for generations. This isn't new, although we did not know that.
Okay. Okay. And so the uncles that passed away, you said at infancy, the siblings, the other siblings do I mean, are they able to kind of relay and share information with you guys of what occurred back in the 50s?
Well, they were really young, but there are some cousins that talked to us about it, and one of the things that they remembered was how beautiful the boys were. And I know this sounds weird, but all Barth baby boys are gorgeous babies. They all have the same look. They almost look like little what are the little Cupid dolls? They have almost like,
Like
yeah, and
cherubs.
they have the same appearance, kind of like Down syndrome, but not the same. So if you have a trained eye, if you see a Barth baby, you know it, and they're always adorable. But what they remembered about
Chubby
it from the
cheeks.
50s is that one baby died of pneumonia and another died of a heart condition. Well, we know that the traits of this disease that it leads to cardiomyopathy and it leads to neutropenia. So there were symptoms there, but they didn't know what they were looking for. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to find it. We didn't start looking until 2008, specifically for genetic components to this disease. When my son was born critically ill, and they automatically assigned him to a geneticist. Whereas when Amy's journey began, they were just kind of trying to pinpoint symptoms in a multi-system disease, which can be really hard to do in a syndrome that is subtle, even though it is devastating and life-threatening.
Okay. So let me back up two steps. So you mentioned that it is genetic.
It is.
And so you're stating that it's passed from mother to child. So does that work? Do you or have you guys been diagnosed with Barth?
So the way this works, when you have an X-linked disease, typically the mother does not show symptoms, but we are considered what's called a carrier. Although there are certain traits that are really subtle, like all tend to have like sensory processing issues, things like that, but there are no papers written on any of that. So what science says is that the women in the family are not we're not affected at all. It only shows up clinically in the males, which we actually do have evident. We do have history of a female with Barth syndrome. We've had 3 total that we know of, but 2 are not alive. Only 1 is alive, which is not heard. That is not heard of. That is not supposed to happen, but it did.
Wow. Okay, so let me make sure I have this right. So women are the carriers,
Yes.
and so it's typically from mother to child. And but if you have a boy, then it stops with him. Is that right?
If the affected boy has children, their boys
Well,
will not
yeah.
pass it. But if we have children, then we have a 50-50% chance. So both of us have 2 boys. We each have a boy with, and we each have a boy without.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
So the condition is so
It makes
complex,
your heart,
and
your brain hurt.
it's very hard to
Mm-hmm.
understand. It's still hard for me to understand, and I've been dealing with it since 2008.
So it has so I know you guys have done quite a bit of research just on your own, but has there been any studies on this or any
Oh, for sure.
well, I
Um,
mean, probably since 2008. And what have you discovered since those
well,
years?
actually, what the reason I contacted you was that there is no cure and there is no FDA approved treatment for Barth syndrome. And until the age of 5, it is 100% or it is 85% fatal. So if you have a baby with Barth syndrome, they have an 85% chance of dying before the age of 5. And so there's no treatment, there's no cure. However, we've been throughout the years. We're not a group of people. When I say we, I mean the community with Barr syndrome. We don't like to just sit around and wait for something to be handed to us. We've been throwing in. Our boys have been dedicated to participating in research, and a miracle happened, and they found a treatment. And we found a treatment that works, and we found a treatment that is safe. That was in 2016. So we're at the end hour of a 9-year battle. At the end, the FDA has repeatedly denied approval because there's only 300 people in the world and 100 people in the United States. So we don't have the data to give them based on normal pathways for approval. So what has happened is while we've been waiting since 2016, we've lost 18% of the population. We've lost, and 10% have needed heart transplants. Throughout all of that, they have continuously given us roadblocks, hurdles, moved the goalposts, and asked the drug company that's made this drug to resubmit the new drug application multiple times, which is wasteful with money. So now we're at the end of a 9-year battle to get it approved. At the end of August, all funding for this medication goes away forever. Our
Oh,
boys are living with a life threatening disease, and this medicine is proven to be safe. It has been proven to be effective. Both of our boys have shown it. Her son was one of the trial participants. When you asked about studies, he was one of the first trial participants. So he went off of the drug. We can talk about more about that why, but we do know what happens when they're taken off drug. They decline. We can show you pictures of it. He has declined to a 70-pound 25-year-old on a feeding tube. My son got emergency access to this drug in November. They have a form of muscular dystrophy. The disease affects their mitochondria. So the medicine goes in and restructures their mitochondria. My son, since starting this medicine, things that he's never been able to do before. He can climb the stairs. He can jump with both feet leaving the ground. The geneticist last week told me they saw no evidence of muscle weakness, and I witnessed him pick up a 50-pound bag of dog food yesterday. These are all things that these boys can be too weak to open a bag of chips. And he will tell
or
you
even chew
he can't
food.
walk 30 feet without having to stop and take a break. Or for, in Jacob's instance, her son, his body muscle weeks are too weak to digest his food. So this medicine has helped them tremendously. But the FDA keeps telling us no, and we're at the end of a fight. So this next week, my sister and myself and several other Barth families that are have benefited from this drug are going to Washington D.C. But do we know that it's going to help do anything? But we need to finish this fight. The drug company that's fought for us has cannibalized itself. They've lost 30%. They've let go of 30% of their employees and all other programs to keep this going for 100 patients. That is a little pharma company not looking to profit. They're looking to help their patients live and have prosperous lives. And now this company is going under. They're closing their doors because FDA won't stop moving the goalposts, and it is pushing them into to bankruptcy. And in the end, it's going to cost lives and this poor little business that gave everything for us.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
hope that's a lot, but I hope you caught up with
Yeah.
me. You were able to keep
It
up.
is a lot. But so first the FDA said, oh, well, um, there it's, my mind just went blank. What is the technical term, Christy? What they said that they were just willing
It was
themselves
a
to
hope
feel better?
bias. Hope bias. But the thing is we have babies that have been pulled off of life support that needed heart transplants. So were in the last stages. They were on mechanical hearts. That means their hearts were no longer pumping for themselves. That today are thriving, meeting their milestones with their native hearts because of this medication. And when this medicine goes away, my son, her son, and these babies are going to lose this medicine.
So okay, okay. Let's back up two
It's a
steps.
lot.
So yes, yes, that it is. So are you saying, and I think I'm hearing you right, that due to the low numbers, because you said it was only 300, due to the
So
low numbers, they feel like the FDA feels like that's not enough data to
Correct.
support
we
it financially.
we didn't have enough participants to participate in the clinical trial. They usually like for you to have a set number of patients participate. Well,
But they
because
don't exist.
right, our
They
community is
die
so
first.
small.
We
Ten
can't give you
Right,
percent.
something that doesn't exist because they die first. So the FDA
right.
is asking us to give them some, and what the so to put to end this whole messed up story, to put it all shortly, we're living in a broken system. The system does not work for rare diseases. And it's not just our children with their particular diseases this is going to affect, because this is going to set a precedent for all developers of drugs in the future for rare diseases. They're going to say there's no end in sight. We can't get this approved. And they're not going to want to try to get new drugs developed and approved through the FDA because the system is broken. And they've acknowledged that it's broken. So here we are. We know there's a broken system, and we're desperately fighting not to become a casualty of that broken system.
Exactly, exactly. And so if they are, if the history is showing you that the individuals that have this are dying at such a young age, and you both have adult children
They're
that
miracles.
have survived this long on this medicine, I know that should show something of some type of
So they won't take the baby's health histories into consideration because they weren't part of the clinical trial, because you have to be of a certain age to be able to participate in clinical trials. So
right, but
these
if you
babies are getting emergency access. So this is real life data, right?
hmm
That they can't really argue with because the baby can't will
Can't will
themselves off of
themselves.
life support. It's
right, but if oh okay.
And our sons shouldn't be
I,
alive today. they have beaten all the odds, but how many times can we ask to beat these odds?
Right. I
Because it's
feel
not a
you. Yeah.
matter of if, it's a matter of when this disease is going to claim their lives. If we
Mhm.
don't get something to help us, I mean, there is no treatment that is FDA approved, but we have something that exists.
So have you reached out to your legislators to
Yes,
ask? I'm quite sure you've tried to have meetings and asked them to. And
yes.
what have they said? I know you. I don't know if you still have the same one from 2008, but what have they said or done? Have they tried to write a bill? Have they? Did they take it to the Capitol to advocate for the small
There
group?
have been letters that have been sent on behalf of us and on behalf of the drug. Um, but it's politics,
Mhm.
and at today where we stand, it's my belief that the only people that can reverse this decision is going to be the new FDA commissioner, Mark McCary, RFK Jr., or President Trump himself, which is the reason that we're going to Washington next week in hopes that we can get their attention and maybe get a meeting because we don't want to bury our children.
And we've
I mean,
exhausted every avenue.
we
When you said we had meetings, this is a 9-year battle. We are in the sunset of a 9-year battle that ends at the end of August, and
we
we have
had a AdCom meeting with FDA advisory committee in October, which went in favor of approving the drug. And when we went into the meeting, they kept saying, usually they listen to what these advisors say and they take their suggestion. Well, they went completely against what their own advisory committee said.
So is it more so of just funding? Are they talking about they don't have the money or they just don't want?
it's a matter of the company is running out of funding. On the FDA's end, it's the matter of they have been given regulatory flexibility granted by Congress, and they refuse to give that to our community when they're able to do that. And they have given us delays where the last delay has turned into from 6 months to 2 years, and our drug company can't hold on anymore. They're literally holding on by their fingernails, and so we don't have time for them to give us another delay when we've already been through delay after delay after delay. And we have met everything that they've asked. And there have been so many unprecedented things that only happen to this treatment. And another thing, it's not just potentially helping our boys and people with Barth syndrome, it's helping other children with mitochondrial conditions and people with Sanfilippo syndrome. So this is more than one condition that this can help. It's not just 120 patients, but there are 40 patients right now on emergency access that are going to lose their treatment at the end of this month if a miracle does not change. Something has to change.
So what so when you guys go to DC next week, do you have someone in mind that you're planning on meeting with? Is there a number that we can call and say, hey, we want to support these two ladies and families that are coming to talk about Barth, and we need some type of resolution or something. Um,
I don't know that there's a phone number that anybody can call at this point. Everybody can absolutely reach out to their local congressman and say, "Hey, we want to urge you on behalf of all of these families, you know, to send a letter." We asked for a delegation letter from Mississippi. We didn't get that letter, but if
They
these congressmen and these senators and representatives would stand behind us and send these letters and put pressure on them to, which some have. I'm not going to say all of them haven't. Some have. There have been other states, um, but
so
we really need the support.
if there's been other states that are writing the letters, um, are you stating that your state legislator won't support the letter? Or oh, we lost her. Or either
So Mississippi did not write a delegation letter. Congressman or Representative Michael Guest, I'm getting myself confused. He is a congressman. He did write a letter on behalf of us to Commissioner McCary and asked him to essentially look at the situation as a whole and told him he thought that the medication needed to be passed so we can get approval and get the public. I mean, there's so many other families and so many other people that need to be on this drug that can't get access because it's only through emergency access, which we are fixing to lose if we can't get. So the pharmaceutical company has invested over $175 million into this project.
Okay.
That's a
And
lot of
does
money.
yeah, that's a lot of money. Do okay. Okay, let me slow down. My brain is like, wait, you got
Right.
three
You
questions coming
will
at once.
because it's so much and it's so confusing and there's been so many twists and turns. It's hard for us to even keep up and we've been living it.
Mhm. I one question that I have is, the- does with you getting the medicine through emergency only, is it costing the family anything for you to pay for that clinical trial medicine? So it's
No, that they cannot charge anybody a penny for anything because it hasn't been approved by the FDA. So
okay.
that essentially the drug company's been eating all of those costs, which is one of the reasons that they're running out of funding.
Out of funding. So and it makes me wonder, are they, I know every drug company has their own mission and value of what they are doing and what type of medicine they're trying to provide and help families. But I'm just curious, and I'm quite sure they have, that they probably even looked at other investors that could help to invest in
We
this
asked all of these
medicine.
questions. Yeah, because so
Mhm.
this is a very small pharmaceutical company called Stealth Biotherapeutics, and their CEO actually had a meeting with us and told us they've been very transparent because they wanted us to hear it before the news broke publicly that the FDA didn't even. So they were trying to file an appeal on the denial, and that got denied as well. So
So a part of me, and I may be wrong for saying this, but a part of me feels like, are you only wanting certain pharmaceutical companies to get approved?
Say it
I
out
mean,
loud,
that is
please.
a
We
good
want you to
question.
say it. Say it.
I because that's what I'm feeling like. If you have applied, I don't know how many times you've applied, but I feel like it's been over three or four, probably five. Okay, so you have applied all these different times, and you're constantly getting denied. You're constantly showing evidence of the improvement of what it's doing to the children's lives that are on it and how they are surviving way past the
Safe
statistics.
and effective.
Yes.
No
So
side
then
effects
why?
beside one minor one.
Okay, one minor one versus when you hear these commercials on the TV, they tell you nine side effects
Thank
of
you.
Exactly.
them.
You
So
get
I'm
it.
not, and that makes me feel as if
You get it.
I'm sorry, like somebody's in the pocket. We don't want them to produce this medicine because we know it's going to help,
Feels
and
nefarious, doesn't it? At this
it does.
point, it's hard
I
not to
don't.
think that way.
It's hard not to think that way, but that's what it sounds like, because why not? Like,
You,
give me a
Right.
reason why not. And if you're just going to say because it's such a small amount of number, well, you never know how it can affect somebody who maybe just had a baby that, born with this and didn't realize, or
and it's
going
had
through it
that's what's
right now.
happening. That's what's
Yeah,
happening. And this
right.
this medicine is saving those babies. So what happened to my body, my choice. We want to use this medication. Let us.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's our decision.
Absolutely.
Right. Definitely, definitely.
Right.
They
We're not uneducated people. We've all had a crash course in medicine, when our children got a diagnosis with the
right.
ultra rare disease. And a lot of times we know more about this disease than the doctors that we're going to take them to.
Mm-hmm.
So give us the choice. And, that's a chance that we'd be willing to take. Even if we had to start over from day one, which I hope it doesn't come to that, but that's what we've done
Right.
to try to save our kids.
Oh goodness. So when do you guys leave for DC?
We're going to leave Monday at lunch.
She said Monday at lunch.
Yeah, because we're going to, well, we started a fundraiser. It didn't do as well as we thought. So we're going to have to drive
Okay.
rather than fly. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to get there from Mississippi.
Right, right. It's gonna take a little, but that's okay. That's okay. The
That's
point is
right.
that you get there safely. I think you should still ask for donations. I don't know if you had a um the GoFundMe or Cash App or whatever that you have, but to still share that.
Posted on both of our social media accounts.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yes, and I'll have to follow you on your personal
Please
so I
do.
can
Yeah.
see it and share that because
Yes.
it's you never, and this is why I always tell people to share their story, because if we keep things to ourselves, how is anyone else going to know what's
That's
going on
right.
or
Yeah.
learn from this
Right.
situation? And I just feel that by you sharing that somebody is going to hear this. I don't even know. I don't know. I wish I did have a connection with a national news story or media or journalists and be like, this is a story that you should pick up. Have it on.
We've reached out to so many. Like I've emailed probably 500 reporters, and it's to me it's mind boggling. And not to say that animals aren't important because they absolutely are,
Mhm.
but somebody can share a picture of a stray animal and people lose their minds.
Right.
But you share pictures of babies that have all of these cords coming out of them and nobody bats an eye. It's like they don't even see it. It to me
They're
it's
too uncomfortable to acknowledge our reality, but it's our day. This is our everyday. We don't get to escape from it. So we just ask people to not, we don't want you to put yourself in our shoes. We don't want anybody to feel this way. Just think about how you can just have some empathy, have share the post, say speak up because there's only 300 families in the entire world. We need other people to amplify our voices or we don't stand a chance. And we have been loud, we have been squeaky, we have been the mosquito in the room. They can't tell me they haven't heard whispers about the Barth community. I know they have. We have rattled cages, but it's not done. It's not over yet. We're not giving up. We're not saying we lay down, we accept this. No, we're going to keep on until Stealth says, I'm sorry, we had to close our doors. And then, even then, we're not giving up. But it should
right.
never
Because
come
we
to
can't.
that.
That would be giving up on our
It
Right.
should
kids.
never come to that. It should have never come to that.
So what's the Barth community? How many when you say 300, are they all, I mean, are they all across the globe or
Yes.
like literally in every, okay.
Continent. There are about 120 families here in the United States that we know of. And actually, here in Mississippi, we're known as we have the most congested cluster. There are 4 adults here, and apparently that's unheard of.
Wow.
Like that doesn't happen. So, I mean, like to put it in perspective, how rare it is. Christopher was the 157th person in the entire world history to have this diagnosis ever. So Jacob was probably around 158 or 159.
Mhm. Oh my goodness. So I mean, you mentioned earlier that your son is not taking the medicine as of now, but is he still doing okay, or is he starting to regret?
So Jacob actually very, very recently was able to get back on emergency access because his health had declined in such a way that doctors wrote letters and say he needs this medication under the emergency use, and his health has started to improve. Um, but in between the time when he went off drug and got back on it, he had a feeding tube placed. He was going into kidney failure. I mean, if you saw this picture of him with a shirt off, you could literally see every muscle, every bone. I mean, it was just so. It looked like, I hate to compare it to other diseases, but he almost looked like somebody that was anorexic or bulimic, like he had intentionally, you know, starved himself, and he hasn't.
Mhm. Okay, so he's slowly getting back to where he needs to be, but
And
you
that's only
The
the
drug
until
end of
goes
this
away
month.
again, and they're going to take it away a second time to this young man who has already lost everything once. He's going to lose it again, and this devastates him in every way, not just physical, but emotionally, mentally, socially, in every
psychologically.
way.
Right,
It impacts him.
right, right. Are they not? Well, I guess they
No, they're
can't.
not. We had a
But
meeting that lasted how many hours, Amy? When we had the face to face meeting in what was it, 2019? It was like not so many hours of patients and families sitting there giving their testimony, so because they wanted a quote better understanding how this disease affects us. But when we have all this stuff, and we paid for all that, it was like $100,000 or something out of the Barth Syndrome Foundation's pocket. They acted like that never happened. They acted like they never heard any of those testimonies. And we had families saying, my son can't open a bag of chips. We had grown men crying about their children because they don't want to have to carry them. They want to see them ride a bike. It's just, I have no words because they're not hearing us, obviously.
mhm. So there is a Barth Association.
Yes, Barth Syndrome Foundation,
I mean foundation. I'm sorry. Okay, and is it based out of
New York.
Mississippi
It's
or
out
New
of New
York?
York. It's more
Okay.
but it's really not like a building somewhere. It's more it was created by the pioneers of Barth syndrome, the ones that got the first ones that got a diagnosis. Created this foundation. They went and sat on a floor in a hotel and had their first conference. Since then it's grown. They had like 200, how many families? They have more than 50, almost 60 families at the last time, but they also bring the scientists in and they hold a conference, and they do all the research at the same time, and at the end of the week they have a social where these scientists and researchers dance with their patients, which is very unique because it creates a special bond that doesn't happen in any other diseases or drug developments, and they do get attached. It gives them motivation to get out and help our boys because they're not just a number or a test tube. They're a Christopher and they're a Jacob. And that's what we need the
Yeah.
FDA to know too. They're not numbers, they're people. They mean everything to us.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I am so blown away by your story and your resilience. I mean, this is just it's
Well, we don't have a choice but to be resilient. I
right.
mean, we didn't ask for this life.
And it's like
Right.
it's already hard enough. You could make this easier, but nothing is easy for us. Nothing comes out easy.
Exactly.
I know.
And like for our
Exactly.
boys, if they run a fever of 100.7, we have to go in the hospital. So every time this uproots our lives repeatedly,
Mhm.
we just need to be able to have stability and be productive members of society like the next person. And our boys want the same chance.
Right. Right. Now with the FDA. Okay, let me breathe for a second. Sorry. Okay, so with the FDA denial, they have turned in for another request because you said it on August 4th. Like this was just recently. That was last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So what I don't know. I feel like there is what, let me ask you a question. I'm quite sure you probably have. Have you guys talked to your governor?
Not directly, no.
Okay.
We have reached out to, like I said, to our local leaders, and we've asked and begged and pleaded with local leaders, media, I, anybody and everybody that will listen. I tag major creators on all different social media platforms. Please help us. We just need awareness. And most of the time,
And it's not
people
just
just act
us.
like they don't
We
even.
have other families affected, so it's not just my sister or myself out doing this like two crazy moms and nobody. I mean, we probably do look like two crazy moms, but there's more of us. There's a few
No,
more
you
of us
don't.
doing the same thing.
Right. And I just feel like it's I don't know. We get in the uproar about certain things, but it's like when things that we really need to focus on and try to help and to increase medical research, we're just like on deaf ears. And that's where it's just really
Right.
bothering me. Now I know you don't know my backstory, so I'm a cancer thriver survivor, and so I really focus a lot on cancer research and just talking to people and seeing how this works. But it's so many different other medicines that are out here that are being developed. Like we've come a long way since 1950. We're in 2025,
Sure.
and we're at the point to where even though it may seem small to others, but 300 people is a lot of people.
Well, the thing is that science
I,
has outgrown the system and it won't keep up. We need you to keep up here. Science
Mm-hmm.
made advancements. Now, system, it's time for you to hear us and quit being in your old backwards days and grow. You know it's broken. Don't let people die in the process when you know there's a problem and you have a chance now to do something. It's not too late yet, but we really literally only have a few days left.
Right, right. So you're going to DC next week. What I don't know. I see your ask. Is it okay if we kind of if I kind of like copy this and just kind of explain and
Sure.
share this out and ask people to repost it?
absolutely.
And I know it may be it's small because I'm just little old me, but I
So
just
are
feel like
we. We
something
need you.
I just feel like something has to happen. Like I'll at least take the time to acknowledge and listen to what is going on. Um,
I ask people all the time, how would you feel if it was your child?
right, right,
This has been a long, drawn out fight. We are tired. We just need help.
yeah, definitely. And a part of me feels like if there could be an investor that can help the pharmaceutical company to keep, um, producing and then branch out and educate the community more about what Barth syndrome is. And if you are a person or a family that's been affected, we need those individuals to come forward so that way FDA can see that it's bigger than just what you think it is. Um, you shouldn't wait until it's and I'm sorry for saying this. You shouldn't wait until it affects somebody that's famous or something like that until we
We've been
want to
saying that.
Exactly.
then you want to say something, then you want to back it up, but what about all those other people that are going through this on a daily basis? I just
If they're famous to us,
And
well,
the ironic thing is when my son was little and cute, he was so cute when he was little, and the hospital made him his poster child, and we went and spent the whole entire week with Miss America and different stars like Nick Cannon and Mark Wills, and we met Obama. We were important enough to do all of those things, but now when it's time for him to be important enough for him to stay alive and matter, nobody can remember us, and it's just like how do I look at my son and say, "Hey, this disease, this medicine, it's safe, it's effective, but sorry, they said that there wasn't enough of you to matter, so we have to take it away, even though it's changed your life."
That's heartbreaking. That's very heartbreaking. I'm not for sure what all and what else that I could do. I'm hoping that what's those TV
You're
shows?
doing your part
That's
right
right.
Well,
now, and we thank you for
that's
Thank
that.
you
true,
for
but I
that.
feel like I can try
Yes.
to do more. Um, all these different the talk shows that are come on during the daytime. I can't even think of the lady's name. Kelly and them other ones that come
Like the
on
view
during
and the
day.
talk.
Yes, yes, all of them. Like we need women to come and support other women because it this could happen to
Yes.
anybody and you just never know.
Oh, it doesn't discriminate. It affects
Right,
all demographics. So,
right.
and rare
Well, and
disease
that's the thing
itself
too.
does.
Hmm.
Right. 1 in 10 people have a rare condition. So them trying to put us in a box where we don't fit, they're doing that to everybody who has a rare disease.
Yeah,
Not to mention an ultra rare disease, which is what they have.
right, right. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, I need for you guys to come back and give me like an update. Please send me a friend request.
Yes,
Um, I think you may have reached out to me on Share the Tea, my business page, but
I
my
did.
name is Vernelia McKnight. So just there's not too many Vernelias McKnight. It's just me. But send me a friend
Okay.
request so I can keep up with what's going on with the story and try to do what I can.
Thank you.
And also
Thank
sending.
you so much for we understand that you understand being a cancer patient more than you realize
Hmm. Hmm.
because we live the same life that you have.
Yes,
And I think it takes that, unfortunately it takes that person that's lived it to really get our need, because the eyes glaze over too often.
right.
I think our society has somewhat of compassion fatigue, and it's a shame. I don't blame them. I know I've been in this world too, but you know, it's hard to live. It's hard. Some days are harder than
Others,
others.
yeah. And you're absolutely right. And and even though life goes on, we all still have to help each other at some point or another. We can't get so consumed with our lives and fantasy that we forget that we have people that still need help, you know. I appreciate you guys coming on Share the Tea Tuesdays. Please keep me
Thank you for
in the
having
know.
us.
Yes, yes. And I'm sending special prayers and traveling grace to DC that
Thank you.
everything goes well. That I don't even know how many hours that is away, but take your time, get in there.
14, one
14.
Oh,
way.
14. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. Right, but
Well, that's one way. Then we got to, 14 coming
right.
back.
I know. That's a lot. But hopefully it's not storming and raining and all that stuff. But travel grace. But is there a the Barth Association on social media that people can follow? Okay, can you tell them where they can find that information?
Sure, it's at Barth, Barth Syndrome Foundation. If you go online, it's barthsyndrome.org. They're on Facebook. You can find them either or, and any information you need, there are the hub of the information on Barth Syndrome Foundation.
Okay.
So on Barth Syndrome Foundation, Barth Syndrome Foundation.org.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'm typing that in here now so I can make sure we go in. Oh no! Don't try to tell me.
Uh oh.
Listen, we were almost finished. He's like, I gave you 45 minutes. I can't stand technology sometimes.
No, she may have lost her battery.
Oh,
Mine's
about to die.
screaming at me
Okay.
now.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. And
Look, thank you so very
yes,
much. It
yes,
really is appreciated.
yes. And
So we really
we'll
appreciate you
be in
sharing our
touch and
story.
keep me posted, okay?
Will
All
do.
right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Have a
You
good night.
too. Bye-bye. All right, Miss Christie. She said it. Oh, Chrissy, I was just saying thank you to your sister
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I know your phone's probably about to die and all that,
Yep.
but thank you, and we'll definitely connect.
Yes.
and safe travels to DC. Okay,
Thank you. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me so quickly. You
you're
just invited
welcome.
me, and you were so welcoming, and I mean it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a great
Anytime. You
evening.
gotta
Yes,
come
ma'am.
back.
Yes, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. So make sure that you tune in next week for Share the Tea Tuesdays. We have learned a lot of information. I don't know about you, but I need to blink a few times and go to this website, Barth Syndrome .org, Barth Syndrome Foundation. And let's educate ourselves about this. 300 people may seem small to you, but that's a lot of people, and we need to be able to stand behind not just these two group of women from Mississippi, but every all the other 300 people that are being affected and going through this as well. And so thank you for tuning in to Share the Tea Tuesdays. I'll check back with you next week. Remember, we share the tea, we don't spill it. And if you ever want to be a special guest on Share the Tea Tuesdays, send me an email at sharetheteawithv@gmail.com. And let's be intentional, be insightful, and be impactful in everything that we do. Until next time, I'll see you later.